Hey, so like the other 10 million people, bajillion people who've been tuning into the Oprah, was it Life class? Your best life class, I think. I actually haven't seen any of the shows that she's sort of responding to. I've only been able to tune into the webcast because I get home after class much later than the show appears. But tonight she was talking about your belief system, and when I think about my belief systems, and in this case, she's talking about what you believe is sort of how you manifest the life that you have. Like the life you have is the one you believe you deserve, right? I don't know if I totally buy that, Oprah, but hey, I'm not here to argue with the richest person on the planet. But I think about when I think about my belief, I think about sort of my belief in a higher power, God. I was raised in a super religious house, and you know, my mom. When I say now, like universe or something, my mom's like, okay, who's universe? Why aren't you saying God? So she's very sort of focused on God. And it was a super religious house. And the moment I had choice to like get out of the house and not have to go to church like 6 days a week, I stopped going because for whatever reason, that relationship with the God my mom was sort of engaged in, clearly in love with, I just didn't connect with. And it would take years and years and years and years later for me to sort of even attempt to create a relationship with a higher power, with a universe, with a God, to believe that there was something outside of myself. And as the last few years of my life, when times have been difficult, or I felt challenged, or I felt like things aren't going to change, I've questioned whether there is a higher power. I've absolutely questioned whether there is a God, because why does bad things happen to good people? And so when I hear Oprah talking about sort of manifesting the life you have and just sort of waiting for it to arrive. Not waiting, you mean you got to be doing your own work or whatever. But I struggle with that, right? I struggle with waiting to see if I'm going to get what I think I want or deserve or need from some magical force outside of myself. And that's not what really she's not really saying that, so I shouldn't minimize that. But when she says put something out in the universe and the universe is working in your favor to present it, I found myself being impatient, and trying to believe that on the other side of that want, on the other side of that long chasm of unknowing, that I'm really going to get what I'm asking for. And so I really struggle with that. I mean, even as on a daily basis, this is day 285 of my life in 2011, where I'm actively and intentionally always trying to be present in my life and my choices and everything. And I still struggle with that there's a higher power, that there's a God, that the universe is working in my favor, because I struggle with knowing that people who I think don't deserve the life they have the life they have, and my life feels a little bit more disjointed or uncomfortable or hard, right? And so I struggle with having true belief. Like when I look at my mom was like, quote unquote, born again when I was 7 years old. My mother has been unshaken from that position for the last 27 years. Like she believes this, or I guess 37 years. What am I talking about? My mother has been in her faith as long as I can remember, and she has been unshaken by this. She just refuses to believe that there's any other option. And I always marvel in that, her capacity to do that. And I know I've always fallen short of that. I think that's why I left the church as quickly as I could when I was 23, when I had a choice, when I didn't feel obligated to sort of perform for my family and show up at church or show up in a religious sort of way, and sort of go into the desert, as it were, and try to come up with my own understanding of God, of universe, of whatever. And I still struggle with that, and I wish that wasn't a struggle. I think when I was younger, I was sort of indifferent, like whatever, I'm just doing me. But as I get older, I would like to be anchored to something, and not anchored to the God that sort of it's sort of the jealous God, the vengeful God. I'm not interested in that God. That feels too human and mean-spirited to me. Like his or her emotions feel too human-like, and so if I'm going to spend time sort of genuflecting to a higher power, I want them to be higher than my capacity to feel jealous and pissed off, right? But I digress. I wish my belief system in was stronger. I guess simply that. I've sort of spent 5 minutes trying to get to the bottom of that and saying, I wish my belief system, my belief in something was stronger, was more steadfast, that I could hold on to that when things feel super cruddy and I'm not getting my way, or I'm not getting what I need, or life feels hard, or here's another challenge that I wasn't prepared for. I wish I was like my mom or other people in my life, my friends who I grew up with or went to college with, who were sort of young and wild like me, but as they've gotten older have sort of planted their flag in their own belief system and seem really genuine and happy in that choice. And that just doesn't feel true for me. Not really, not all the time. Like, it feels like it should be at 80%, where sometimes I'm fluctuating constantly, right? I'm like, today I believe, and tomorrow I'm like, crud ball, but boop, so I don't know. I'm committed to working on that. I am. I'm committed to like figuring out what my belief systems are in not my mother's beliefs or my auntie's beliefs or my sisters or siblings or cousins' beliefs, but that I truly have a connection to a higher power, to universe as I understand it, and believe that this energy, this thing, this entity is working in my favor, and that I will get what I want or need to be in my next step of my path, and that I'll be able to have the discipline to wait for the thing to arrive, which I'm really struggling with that lately, like waiting in the discomfort, waiting for the thing, right? Whatever that thing is, because I might say I want a red Corvette, and I'll end up just getting a car, right? But even still, waiting for the moment, waiting for that breakthrough. And some days I just really squirm under the discomfort of it, and that's usually the time when I don't believe, when I'm thinking this is all just crud, this is all just make believe, and people are just saying stuff to hold you oppressed to some higher power. But that's it. I'm sort of rambling. I'm all over the place. But ultimately, I'd like to work on my belief system. I'd like to believe that there is something out there that is ordering the universe and has Michelle Marie Antoinette Sewell's best interest at heart. So, all right. I hope you guys had a good, Wednesday? Good Wednesday. It's all rainy here in Maryland on the East Coast. I hope everybody's well and taking care of themselves. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow. All righty.